This is the Cholo News Report for Thursday 19 September 2019. South Korea officially removes Japan from its whitelist of countries with fast-track trade status. Tighter trade regulations take effect immediately on Wednesday, including longer permit application processes and additional paperwork that will apply to South Korean exports to Japan related to weapons production, the Ministry of Trade, Industry and Energy said in a statement. At least 27 people, a majority of them children, are killed in a fire caused by an electrical problem at a boarding school in a suburb near the Liberian capital of Monrovia. The fire is believed to have broken out in the early hours of the morning, when Quranic school students were sleeping in a building near their mosque. So many curious onlookers had made their way to the scene that the police had to grapple with the crowd to make way for ambulances to pass through. The plan was for the burial to follow shortly after, in keeping with Islamic law which says a person must be buried as soon as possible after death, usually within 24 hours. Saudi Arabia joins the International Maritime Security Construct. The aim of this international alliance is to protect merchant ships through providing safe navigation. The operation covers Strait of Hormuz, Bab el-Mandab, Sea of Oman and Arabian Gulf. The coalition, which includes Australia, Bahrain, and the UK, was set up to counter threats to vessels, after a string of attacks against ships entering and leaving the Arabian Gulf. U.S. Vice President Mike Pence cancels a meeting with Solomon Islands Prime Minister Menashe Sogavare, in response to the country's move to cut ties with Taiwan and establish relations with China. The meeting was to discuss the development relationship, but it's been called off after the Solomons cut ties with Taiwan in favor of China. A State Department official said the Solomons' decision to change its diplomatic recognition had consequences. The Solomon Islands opposition leader, Matthew Whale, said the government had been too hasty in deciding to switch ties from Taiwan to China. The Human Rights Watch reveals details of arbitrary executions and arrests on behalf of the Maduro government in areas of Venezuela, where the public no longer show support for disputed President Nicolas Maduro. In June and July 2019, Human Rights Watch interviewed witnesses or family members of 9 victims of violations by FARC in Caracas and a state in the interior, as well as lawyers, activists, and journalists covering alleged killings by the unit. OPRA investigated 20 cases of people killed between June 2018 and April 2019 in depth, hearing nearly identical reports that FARC agents fatally shot young men during arrests in circumstances in which lethal force was not necessary to protect life. In one case, the agents used electric shocks on a detainee, beat and kicked him, and covered his head with a plastic bag, in which they had sprayed a chemical substance that made his face and throat itch and swell.